kind of stand from that perspective heading into a busy weekend?
Right. It's been a tough few weekends. It's never fun starting off the season 1-5. I've never been there, honestly, on the teams that I've been on. I've been fortunate that way, but it's a change of pace for us. And, coming in, nobody's really feeling great right now. But, kind of where we stand is we just got to come in and play loose, find a way to get a few solid practices in and see what we can do this weekend.
What's kind of the key to getting the hitting kind of together at the right time? The first weekend, a few too many guys on base. Last weekend, kind of just gone cold at times. What's the key to kind of
Right. Well, it's kind of an individual thing on some level, but so individual guys have been getting with the coaches on their own time, just trying to figure out little tweaks, little things we can fix. But overall, I think we're really just not ready to hit. I think there's a lot of thinking going on in the box, which is never a good thing. Going in against a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, there's really only so much thinking you can really do to be ready. So I think that's a lot for me, and I know for some other guys, just get in there being loose and just letting the hands work.
How do you kind of go about stopping the process of thinking when obviously you can't in situational things kind of let go of that? How do you kind of approach
Right,
that?
it's tough. I think it just depends on the situation, really. Just to focus on, hey, if it's less than 2 outs, man on third, I just got to do my job here, see a pitch up, and let my hands go. Stuff like that, where if you just focus on one or two things mainly, just to get my job done at bat, that's really all you can do. You can't really be thinking too mechanically to have too many things going around in your head at one time. Just kind of simple it up and have one or two things to focus on.
You said you've never been in this situation 1-5. So how, as a senior leader, will you regroup your guys and get you guys back in the winning ways?
Yeah, it's tough. It's I kind of try to think back to the senior leaders that I've had when I was younger. I think back to guys like Will Nolden and Ryan Halstead, a lot of the guys that have kind of set our program to where it is right now. And it's a spot I've really never been in, like you said. But I'm just trying to keep a positive morale, always talking, always communicating with the guys, and just kind of realizing that sometimes they might not always listen to me, but they feed off my actions, how I hold myself together. So especially for me, hitting-wise, it's not the best right now, but I have to keep a positive attitude and just kind of let them feed off that.
This past weekend, you had a pretty good fielding plays and pretty decent at the plate. So how do you keep that going into this weekend and following weekend?
Right. I think we had a great speech this past weekend. Jake Kelzer talked to us on Thursday night, and he kind of what he kind of focused on was, living in the moment, really just taking it pitch by pitch, trying to win every situation that we're in. So I think that's a big thing for me, especially in the field. I've always tried to focus on just go pitch by pitch, not look up at the scoreboard, not think about the inning or the game. Just kind of saying, what do I have to do right now, and what do I have to think about? So just it kind of slows the game down for me. Especially in those situations, and those plays were some of them I think were kind of lucky situationally, but you just got to go with the flow.
I think it's been going all right. Obviously off to a little bit of a rocky start, but hopefully we can go up from here. I know after being on this losing streak for a little bit, the hardest win is going to be that first one to kind of get out of it. So I think we started off hot, get on the streak, and if we can get that one win to get going again, I think we're going to be all right.
With 3 of these losses being in extra innings, just so close, I mean, do you sense that this team's, obviously they're talented, but do you sense they're just right on the verge of breaking out?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've been in pretty much every game that we've had, and like you said, 3 walk-off losses. That's not easy to handle. It's tough, but that just shows, especially the 14-inning game last Saturday, it just shows, we're right in it and we're battling. We just need a few more good at-bats, a few better plays in the field. I think our pitching has been doing a real good job, so if we can start stringing everything together, I think we're going to be fine and get some wins rolling here.
Brian was saying that one of the things you guys got to do as hitters is kind of stop overthinking things and just really not think at all. Is that kind of, or how important is that just to kind of get the hits strung together for you guys?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think, being on a losing streak, it's a little tough on hitters, and especially when we're not putting up runs that we think we can. So everybody's pressing a little bit, which is normal. But I think we all just got to take a step back, relax, and just let the game come to us. And I think if we do that, it'll put us on a track to success.
Is it one of those things where a few hits can kind of breed a few more hits, and once that barrier kind of gets knocked down, you guys might be able to string things together even easier?
Yeah, well, that's the saying. Hitting is contagious. So hopefully we can start off hot and on our game Thursday and keep it rolling from there.
Kind of more generally, Greg kind of mentioned it, but how did you kind of end up here? Just the path you took out of Virginia. Kind of generally, what was that like getting there?
Yeah, it's a different process than most players take to get to Indiana, but yeah, I was at Virginia my freshman year, and then I transferred to a junior college last year in Wisconsin. And I had known Coach Lemonis from when in high school, and he was at Louisville. He recruited me a little bit there, so kind of talked to him a little bit, and this just seemed like the right place for me to come, and I couldn't be happier to be here.
What was that conversation like when you contacted him, or did he contact you, or what?
He contacted me, and it was a little bit of Cheese, Coach Cheese. He came up and watched me last fall, or 2 falls ago, when I was at Madison College in Wisconsin, and from there it just developed into, I thought this was the right place for me, and I couldn't be happier with where I am.
What kind of led from Virginia to there in the first place?
Yeah, Virginia just wasn't the right fit for me. I think playing time wise and just overall it wasn't the right fit, so I figured that the best thing for me to do was coming off of an injury too. The best thing for me to do was go to a junior college and get playing again. So that was just the track there.
What kind of injury?
My senior year in high school, I didn't play because I dislocated my left shoulder and had labrum surgery. So when I got there in the fall, it was a little bit of a process. But
Sure. So how, I guess when you go to JUCO, or obviously we're going back to D1 is kind of on your mind. How did you kind of approach that season, where it's kind of almost another tryout for another team? You don't know where it could come from.
Yeah, it was nice that I was able to. I committed in November before our season even started for junior college. That was nice to kind of have that off the chest and just really go back to playing baseball. And I think that really helped me transition. And then summer ball last summer to getting here back to the D1 level, which is where every player wants to be.
Did that almost? I mean, once you know you're kind of coming here, how much of a stress reliever was that?
Oh, it's a big reliever, especially after leaving a Division I place. You're always like, wow, I hope I get another shot. And you know, I've been blessed with this opportunity and hoping to make the most of it.
How do you stop any doubt from creeping in?
I didn't really have any doubt. You know, I think a lot of players that play at this level, and especially in this program, we're all confident in our abilities and our team's abilities. So I never really had any doubt. I knew I'd be back sometime, and I couldn't be happier to be here.
With not only the way that IU's progressed baseball-wise, but just the Big Ten Conference the last couple of years has been much better historically. How much did that factor in? I guess more from the Big Ten perspective, but Indiana as well.
I don't know. I think back to when I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, and you didn't really hear much about the Big Ten, even Indiana at that time. And then you have your Schwarbers and your Sam Travises and everybody, and go to the World Series, and Indiana's at the top of the conference every year now. So the conference really didn't have anything to play into it. It's more about the people and the coaches and just the overall feeling. And I felt that it was right, and I think this is one of the best places to play baseball in the country.
What made you feel like it was right? What did Lemonis do, or what's the team like?
Just the way that Lemonis and Coach Cheese approached the recruiting process. Really friendly. They're honest with you through the whole thing, and they just really made it easy for me to make a decision.
Obviously, a rough way to kind of enter another series. How do you kind of keep these guys excited about going back out and snapping a losing streak?
Yeah, none of us are used to it. I mean, it's tough, especially this early in the year when we feel like we got a really good team. You know, so Cal State was tough because obviously we want to win. We were in every game. We played stretches of great baseball, but we don't do enough, and so we're just trying to fill those holes in right now. And Cal State was really good on an opposing field. I think in the long run it'll be a big weekend for us. We learned a lot about ourselves, but we have to do more, especially on the offensive side.
You kind of knew that going in. You talked about the offense. It was going to be a process. Is this just kind of part of that?
I didn't think it would be this much, but yeah, it is a process. We just, in the last 2 years, you got to imagine that how many players have left, and we just don't have. We have talented players, but they don't have the experience of the guys who've left the program, and so it's new for a lot of kids. Even some of the JUCO transfer guys who've come in, it's the first week and a half they've ever played Division I baseball. So we're kind of going through that a little bit and trying to figure ourselves out. I didn't think it'd be this tough, but it was. You know, it is what it is, and they'll fight through it.
Is that something the team can benefit from eventually, or just having to kind of go through that and not kind of have it easy the first few weeks later?
I think so. I mean, I'd rather have won them all, to be honest with you, and build on that. But the reality is there's a lot of teams who have struggles, and when they fight through struggles, then, you know, man, they can really take off. Talented teams that have talent and that can do it. And, you know, I know it's Indiana, but we talked about some of our basketball teams and how they started this year. And that's the biggest compliment you can give a Tom Crean or a Terry Morin is those teams, and they improved all year long. And that's kind of our goal, even before a losing streak, but to be able to get out there and play good baseball.
Will was saying it might just be a matter of not thinking when you're in the batter's box when things aren't going. How do you kind of tell them not to think without stopping situational things?
You know, we're a coach, and then we're a little bit psychologist in this game of baseball because there's so much in there that there is that side that we overthink it and overanalyze it and over everything it. And it's such a game of relaxed aggression, just being able to go out there and play. So hopefully some of those guys can, learn from that side and relax and play a little bit.
What's the update on Sowers' injury, and when can we expect him to be back in the lineup?
He's got, it's just a sore wrist. We're hoping this weekend at some point. We just got to feel it out. Hopefully getting down there, warm weather, everything else. See if he can swing a little bit tomorrow night and kind of go from there. But I don't think it's, knock on wood, I don't think it's too long a timeout.
What would be your plan to replace him in the outfield, and who would you mix and match in the lineup?
Well, Sunday I was pretty happy with Krupa and Eustace. The two, we'd take the power out and play the speed. But they both played well in the outfield and had some good at-bats. So that'd probably be the way that we play those two.
Going 4 games in a row, you've only had 3 in a row up to this point, so what can we expect starting pitching-wise in the 4th game?
We're actually throwing Luke Stevenson on Thursday.
Okay.
So we'll keep all our other guys in progression and throw Luke Stevenson that way. The good thing for us, we've had 2 weekends of 3 games, but we've played almost 4 games worth of innings. So the team's conditioned for that, in terms of the pitch in and everything else. But Luke's a transfer kid who came in. He's got really good stuff, and he'll have to match up against a really good arm for Seton Hall, and then we'll line up for the rest of the weekend.
Coach Evan Bell seemed very dominant in his 7 innings against Fullerton, just a solo shot, maybe a single, something like that. When he's on, he's always been really, really tough to hit. I guess, have you seen a big difference in 2 starts this year, or is it just Evan finding his stride?
He had a good end of the season for us last year, and then he went and pitched in the Cape Cod League, and I thought he made a real big jump there, and then he just had a great fall. He did that to our hitters this fall, and just has continued into the games. A lot of 2-seamers just pitching. I know the umpire came out to me and after the game, he said, "Man, that guy was really good," and I said, "Yeah, he's got a chance." And when you're 6'7" and throw pretty hard, he gives himself a chance to have success.